Welcome to Masters of Max, a mobile app experience podcast. Please welcome your host, Tom Buda, Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at Airship.
Welcome to another episode of Masters of Max. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Alexis Baird from Thumbtack.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Pleasure to be here.
What is the mission of Thumbtack?
So Thumbtack is all about helping homeowners care for their home and helping home service professionals grow their business. And those two sort of groups are what we refer to as customers and pros internally. Most customers are looking to, care for their home, which means they need the help of a home service professional. That actually is what our pros are looking for as well. They're looking to grow their business. And so when you do that well, both sides win.
Yeah, so it's interesting, the experience that both sides are having, that codependency, if you get it right, is magic. So what's happened since you've come in?
This past spring, we had our biggest product update in the company's history. We launched 30 new features, and it was really about, you say redesign, which I think kind of almost makes you think of just a surface level visual design. But this was a huge, huge shift for our app. And when we talked to homeowners about some of the other challenges that they were facing, it really was about this idea of more sort of uncertainty and stress around what should I do? When should I do it? How should I get it done? And so that was kind of the genesis of this new launch, which is really about being the one app you need to care for your home. And this is everything from personalized guidance to tools to help you overcome procrastination and get things done, to being able to kind of rebook your favorite pros, all of which, of course, is integrated with our core hiring experience.
I love that, that sort of positioning idea of the one app you need to care for your home.
There's these moments where, your hot water heater bursts. And then you kind of have, in that moment, of course, you need to take care of that immediately. But there are sort of more of these hidden pieces of owning a home.
Almost like a diagnostic.
Exactly. Yeah. And what we heard from homeowners over and over again, when you buy a home, it's your largest financial asset, and yet it does not come with a how to take care of it.
Yeah, a manual. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's like having a baby. Also, by the way, there are manuals, but they don't work.
Exactly. Hopefully your house is a little bit more predictable than a baby, at least in my experience. But yeah, there isn't that sort of go-to trusted source that you can turn to as a homeowner.
How are you providing that level of awareness to the homeowners that they should even be thinking about things? Is it a checklist?
Yeah, it's not a single approach. It really starts with giving homeowners that support and guidance and making sure, by the way, that it's really personalized to them and their goals. And so part of this new experience is really understanding the homeowner, their home, and what their goals are for their home. Part of what we launched in this new spring launch are these little bite-sized education moments in the app. A nice light way for people to learn more about their home and to feel more confident in being a homeowner. And so we have that kind of on the surface level, almost like a teaser. And then we have these more full-blown, what we call guides, where customers can kind of drill in more, learn more, whether it's how to DIY this task versus, hiring a pro, what tools they might need for the job, what time of year it's going to be most cost effective for them to do the job, why should they care about doing the job, a lot of those different pieces. And we found that really resonates with customers, but we had to strike a balance between ensuring that this was kind of low friction and we're not putting a wall of text in front of every single customer.
One question I have is in response to a phrase you used earlier. You've said it a couple of times. We found out that, and then you pointed out what you've done. How did you find out? How did you get feedback?
We spent probably a little over a year working on this experience. And we were testing it in front of customers. We were looking at how they were behaving in product. So we were looking at data signals. And then we were also doing a ton of customer research to talk to customers about, why weren't you responding that way? So we were sort of constantly getting feedback and iterating and refining and changing and evolving. We carved off a very small portion of customer traffic. We sometimes refer to this internally as the sandbox, that we told the teams, hey, just go crazy within this sandbox, knowing that, our friends on the finance side couldn't have to worry that we were going to completely tank revenue because we put something crazy in front of all of our customers.
This had to have been a cross-functional effort, right?
The product piece and the product experience obviously was huge. And for that, we worked with design, engineering, content design, data science. So it was incredibly cross-functional for that piece of it. And so that took a lot of work from our friends on the marketing side, PR side, obviously.
So you said that was in the spring when you did this launch. What kind of results can you share?
We've gotten a great reception in terms of engagement with the guidance that we're giving people. And currently close to 90% of the tasks that people are creating on their plans are coming from those guidance recommendations that we're giving them.
How can you track that actually?
We have two different ways that customers can add tasks to their plan. They can take our suggestions, and that's kind of a one-click, they just add it to their plan. Or they can add their own tasks to their plan. We let them add kind of whatever free form language they want to use. And then in the background, we actually have a large language model that will map that task to the right category of prose.
Are there some fundamental principles, if you will, about how to go about planning and things that should be done to increase your odds of success?
Because a couple kind of interesting learnings. We tried having the team sort of take a giant vision of caring for your home, big, bold vision, and sort of incrementally bolt that onto our current experience, our sort of baseline of hiring a pro. And we had the teams go at that for a few quarters. They had some nice little incremental wins, but we found they were constantly worrying about disrupting our core conversion flows and our business metrics. And it was really hindering their ability to kind of go much bigger and go broader. And so we made the change to say, okay, we're going to give you a small percentage, it's about 7% of customers, and we're not going to give you any revenue targets for a year and a half, even longer sometimes. But we want you to kind of go much, much bolder and think about just moving towards this broader vision of what would it be to create the only app that homeowners need to care for their home. And then we were really flexible on tactics. We originally tried kind of more of an open-ended to-do list without that element of recommendations, and we didn't see nearly the kind of traction that when we added in that layer of really personalized guidance. And then, of course, there's been many iterations even on top of that to make that more relevant to customers, to incorporate more signals, et cetera. I've been part of redesigns in other lives, and you almost never get it right. The first time or the second time or the third time, sometimes, it takes a lot of iteration to go get that to kind of the bar that you want for a broader launch. That's just one other thing that I want to clarify. We made the decision to only target new customers. So once we were fairly confident that we had an experience that was valuable, we did then test with existing customers. As anyone who's done a redesign with existing customers, you have to create kind of those breadcrumbs and those education moments to guide your existing customers through what can feel like a pretty big change in the experience that they're used to.
I'm curious how you vet on the provider side, right?
All of our pros have to go through background checks. And then we do provide the customers with things like reviews, like portfolio of prior work, licensing, et cetera. Yeah. So we try to give the customer as much information as you can imagine.
Alexis, this has been great. You're obviously incredibly talented. I really appreciate your time and your wisdom, and I'm sure all of the listeners here will as well. So thank you, Alexis.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Tom. This was really, really fun.